Hello everyone and welcome to the gloriously named Heat Desert. I wonder if this game were localized for American audiences, if they would have gone with something like Hot Desert, or they would have just left the original name as it was. This level is my favorite in terms of layout, though it's still not complicated by any means. Over here there's a medallion between these bones, but these bones will do that. At least some of them will. These fireballs have two attacks to speak of. One of them is a single strike and one of them is a two-hit combo. Both are easily blocked, and we can hit it with all 5 hits of our 5-hit combo because it is floating. However, it is usually right next to scorpions and they tend to attack you together. The scorpions have a projectile, so that makes matters worse. Generally, I just jump over them whenever possible when they're in a group. There are 2 ways to go. But in here behind this dragon puppy, as the game puts it, there's a key. And we can just stunlock the dragon puppy with our combo and never give it a chance to attack. There's quite a few enemies you can do this with. You've already seen a couple before now. Since they bothered to put the key in the same room as the dragon puppy, I'm not sure why they didn't just attach it to the dragon puppy, but I'm sure they had their reasons. Either way, the key refills our health. And here is an upward slope, I believe, with a lot of fireballs and some scorpions. The fireballs move very erratically, so they're going to make you lock onto them whether you want to or not. I'm not sure whether they come towards you. Also, remember this medallion, we'll be seeing it later. I'm not sure whether they actively come towards you, but they move around very fast. I'm sure you've noticed that this desert has a lot of lava in it, which is very strange for a desert. No matter what desert it is, no matter how hot it is, that's very strange. When fighting a scorpion and fireball together, we're just basically gonna block and then mash the kick button. Because the kick is guaranteed to hit both of them all of the time, but our punches are not. In this game, it's really not a good sign when the normal enemies are hurting you. A significant amount, I mean. That means you're nowhere near leveled up enough. Oh, I just realized, perhaps the reason there are no playthroughs of this game is because everybody went through it and didn't grind at all. And they didn't realize you could just spam Blood's fireball. So they had the worst time with the mini-bosses and just gave up. That's the only thing I can think of right now, because this game has got kind of a low barrier of entry. It's not hard at all. I recall Tamsoft advertising that the story mode was about 2 hours long for each character. I think they included fighting every enemy in that estimation. But even considering that we're skipping a lot of the enemies, we're still going to be, what, about 90 minutes by the time we're done? Here's the Phoenix. The Phoenix charges at us, but you should have seen that coming. We can spam our projectile at it, but it has its own projectile, which we can duck under by blocking and then pressing down. So you kind of get into a rhythm where you shoot and then duck, until a piece of the environment gets in your way. You know, I always wonder if things like this, the Phoenix's name, are an accidental misspelling or deliberate stylistic choice. I always wonder that. It seems we've got it stun-locked to the point where it can't even fire back, which is good. You may notice that we're dealing no damage to it, though, and this is because, as has already been said several times, we are very underleveled for where we are in the game. We still have that ring that gives us an extra life if we ever get in super trouble, but hopefully we can make it through on our first try. I mean, worst comes to worst, we just have to reload from the start of the level, and you won't see me do that because I'll cut it out. We have 2 pathways we can choose from up here, and both are actually important. We want to go to the right first, though, because there's another key we need for the second mini-boss, which is already nearby. This poor dragon puppy, though, probably not the best guardian for the key. This is where we would fall down if we failed some platforming up ahead. So if we fell down while platforming, we would also happen to see the key. But if we were too good at platforming, we might not notice the key is down here and have to come back. It's not like it'd be hard to figure out where the key was, though. There are only so many pathways. usually 2 at a time. We're gonna ignore these guys down there. Firstly, because they're difficult to lock onto, and secondly, because forward is this way. These platforms are nothing compared to the ones in Mount Clome. Doesn't take nearly as long either. Hey look, the second mini-boss already. And we did actually save this time, just in case. This guy can be tricky, even with our special projectile spamming abilities. So, the way I believe you're intended to fight this boss, which I'm going to show you right now, is jumping over the dragon and hitting it in the butt while it attacks you. Attacking it from the front is a terrible idea because it simply just has better range than you. Not much you can do about that. Its claws literally grow to hit you. It deals good chip damage too, so blocking all the time won't work either. And if you get far enough away, it will either charge at you or fire a fireball at you. So hitting it from behind is the way to go, if you were going to play fair. But now that our health is low enough, I can show you. We gain this new attack. It seems to only activate when our health is low enough. I've tried activating it otherwise and it doesn't work. If you're doing one-on-one battles, you need your energy bar up higher. But if you're in the main adventure gameplay, it only seems to activate when your health is low. By one-on-one battles, I meant the end bosses, by the way. I don't know if I was just trying to trigger it incorrectly, but as I said, it only seems to trigger when our health is low enough. For some reason, the game has a really difficult time letting you lock onto these enemies. As you can see, we're standing right in front, well, we were standing right in front of it and hitting it, but we weren't locked on. It only had a little bit of health left, we had to finish it off. Down here's another medallion. It's not the one we saw earlier, but it is the same color, so whatever. Those medallions may be helping us in immeasurable ways that I just can't understand. But I'm gonna have to assume that they're not, because I can't tell. This next area we're about to enter is absolutely full of lava. In fact, there's some areas we flat out can't reach because they're covered in lava. And I think when we make a turn up here... Oh, I'm sorry. This is a really tough fight. If we run in and attack the salamander, the dragon puppy will shoot fire at us. But if we run in and attack the dragon puppy, the salamander will shoot fire at us. But it's still better for us to take out the dragon puppy first, because it leaves itself more open. In case you missed it earlier, we can use our fireball while we're in this camera angle. But I've never been able to trigger it consistently because the motions required to pull it off are way weirder. Way weirder than when we do it from the 2D camera, I mean. All that's left now is the salamander, and he does use his tail swipe on us. Which is cool, because I thought we would never get to see that. But it doesn't really do anything different. I suppose we could have just left the salamander here, but like that baby dragon earlier, we're going to finish what we started, even if it takes a while. And then we can finally get back to figuring out how to traverse lava. Because up ahead we'll see something we really need that we can't reach. Over there's a key. You can see it in the distance, but we can't get to it because of all this lava. So there's got to be something around to help us out. Let's loop back around and see if we can't find something. Oh, hey, look! These boots allow us to walk through lava. How convenient. We're gonna ignore these lava men, though. There's no point in fighting them. But now we can go get the key and progress toward the end of the level. They don't do a very good job at hiding their quest-important items. I mean, I guess the bomb was relatively well hidden. We had to go all the way around the entire map for it. Up here and to the left, we're about to come upon that medallion that I told you to remember from way earlier. There it is. That's one of the reasons I like the layout for this level so much. And right up ahead is the boss battle. Well, past this dragon puppy anyway. We could just ignore it. But honestly, it's right in the way. I find it weird that its body is segmented, so its biology completely breaks whenever it turns. It's kind of like a plastic toy.
コアッパー、置かないと踏んでいくぞ。なんだとデカブツ、この言い方後悔するぜ。
Beyond is kind of difficult regardless of our grab move, because his fists and his arms are enormous and his hitbox is a little bit awkward. But we can still beat him. Just gotta scoot forward a little bit before we grab. He seems to have a lot of melee moves that are good at pushing us away, and he's also capable of hurling a rock and causing the ground to erupt with a flame shockwave. So he's not to be trifled with, is what I'm saying. He's also a bit tougher because he's near the end of the game, but the AI doesn't improve that much. He's just kind of that naturally strong.